The Great Depression Ahead. I read it this weekend, and it's dog-eared, and I've got notes all over it. It is a great, great book, and I hope you're wrong. I don't think you are, but I hope you're wrong. You're the second person who just looks at the stats that I've talked to. You look at the numbers, and when you see those, you're the second person that says we don't hit bottom until really 2012, 2013 is when things are really ugly. What does a depression mean to the average person? What happens to it? Have we stopped innovations in computers and cell phones and everything else? What does it look like?
No, we haven't stopped innovation. We're just narrowing it down to the companies that are really going to survive and provide better jobs later. What you have to do is unemployment's going to go up, so you have to stay with your job, be creative at work, add value so you don't get laid off.
My grandparents said that depression wasn't bad. It was bad, but it was survivable if you had a job.
If you kept your job.
Right.
Which most people do. We're looking at probably 15% unemployment at the worst. Well, that means 85% of people are still employed. Now, the other part, all assets fall. Not like the 70s where some go up, some down. Housing falls. Oil and commodities fall. Stocks fall. So the people who can sell, like on these stock bounces, if you've got extra real estate or home you don't want to live in or you want to downsize anyway, sell it this year because it's going to get worse.
I've got homes. Let me ask you that. I've got homes in my neighborhood. Not one home has sold since December. Some of them are 50% off.
I know.
How do you sell that? Do you, if you don't have to sell it, do you just say, I'll take what I could get?
Well, it's better to sell it, but a lot of people aren't going to sell their primary home. But if you have homes you bought to rent, or here's the bigger thing, your kid wants to buy a home. You know, they're young and they want to buy their first home, and the real estate agent, oh, buy now. No, have them wait a few years. They're going to get a much better deal. The other thing is you want to move a home or real estate, you may have to give the real estate agent a little extra commission or incentive, at least so you're at the top of the pile.
I want to talk to you a little bit about taxes. I mean, because I think that there's already discontent in America.
Sure.
I read your book, and you talk about a tax rate of 60, 70, 80%, and all the way down to people who are making $60,000 a year. You say it's gonna happen. It has to happen. Explain.
Because these deficits are going to grow much more than they're projecting. They're projecting the economy is going to turn around late 2009-10. It's not. It may turn around a little bit short term. We're looking at deficits of $1.7 trillion just in 2009. We think the worst years are going to be 2010 and 11 with a continued hangover in 2012. Imagine, what if we add $10 trillion to our debt through all these deficits? They're going to have to raise taxes. They're going to start with the ultra affluent and they're going to move all the way down.
Okay, so hang on. I want to give you, this is what Warren Buffett said today. Can we bring this up, this chart of what he said? He said, I've never seen more Americans more fearful. It takes 5 minutes to become fearful, much more time to regain confidence. The system doesn't work without confidence. But the system, you know, that this is, I think, unfair, because people will say, well, Glenn, you're a fearmonger. You're just trying to scare everybody. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to be honest with everybody.
Trying to be realistic.
You can't regain hope unless it's based in trust. And we don't have any trust that anybody's telling us the truth.
Right, that's right. And we have to get a system that's sound again. We got to let some banks and businesses go under and reconsolidate. That's what Chapter 11.
But they're not going to do that.
And housing has to fall enough that it can actually rise again. Housing's still too expensive.
But Harry, help me out. What the government is trying to do is they're trying to hold the housing prices where they're at. There's no way to do that.
No way to. Japan tried for a decade.
So how does this? I mean, when you add $8 trillion to our debt in the next 24 months, how do you possibly not go bankrupt? How do you not just start printing money? Who's going to take our loans?
I think that the United States may have to be bailed out by foreign nations at some point. That we may go so far on this that China and all these countries say, wait a minute, you can't keep doing that.
Do you believe in the global New Deal, that we should all get together? And I'm concerned for my country that we lose our independence because we become, I mean, we're already a debtor nation, but we tie ourselves together because, well, we've got to survive this, and we make deals here in desperation that we just don't want to live with.
Well, that's the problem. If you go too much in debt here to stimulate the economy, you almost be forced into those type of deals with other countries. What you want is globalization to come back. You do want countries to cooperate.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't want to be.
I don't want to be
holding to major countries.
Right, okay. America, absolutely great book. The Great Depression Ahead. I appreciate it. We'll talk again.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. All right, as we go marching down the road to